Thank you everyone for joining. We have Italy, Canada, Kenya, different countries arriving here. Grateful for new beginnings, grateful for the opportunity to be here, grateful for amazing dinner and early evening sun. We have someone from Poland, welcome. Bird song. To be here. Yeah, grateful for spring and new life, yes.
So, whilst
Thank
people,
you for that song. Sorry, go on, Leona.
whilst people are still arriving, and just to help us all come into this space together, it'd be really lovely to just have a little moment of grounding. So, if you're willing and it's safe for you to do so, feel free to close your eyes and just find yourself here in this moment, just connecting to yourself, asking yourself, have I connected with myself today? Have I connected to my body, my heart, my spirit, my mind? And just allowing yourself to come into presence with what is. What can you hear around you? What can you smell? What can you taste on your lips or in the air? What can you feel on your skin? Where do you feel cool, or where do you feel warm and cozy? Connecting to the breath, not changing it, just allowing yourself to notice. In the knowing that we are connecting with people all around the world, around this virtual campfire, this hearth of heart and willing bodies, open to finding a way of connecting more deeply with self and each other and the natural world. And just allowing yourself to just feel the wonder of that, the magic of that, that in these times we have the privilege of connecting in this way. And then when you're ready, just maybe opening your eyes and just allowing yourself to move a little bit. If you feel comfortable, giving yourself a little stretch. If it's needed, a little shake. It's really good to be here, to see so many amazing faces, friends old and new. Thank you for showing up and giving your time to come together to learn more about cultural emergence and to connect with us. I'm Leona Johnson, and I am one of the facilitators of the Peace course, the Peace Empowerment and Cultural Emergence in-person program that happens every year at Applewood. And I am really grateful for the growing light that there is here. You know, whenever I can actually wake up at the same time as the sun and greet the sun as it pops above the horizon at this time of year. I'm no good whenever it gets further into the summer, but right now I really enjoy greeting the sun and welcoming the new day and feeling that aliveness that's also there with all of the buds and the little creatures as they're mates starting to build their nests and come out of hibernation and become more awake. And yeah, grateful for new beginnings. So yeah, I'll pass over to you, Looby.
Yeah, thank you, Leona. That was a really beautiful start to just arrive with each other, arrive with ourselves. Like it's so true when you say that, ask that question of have you connected with yourself today? It's like, oh, I'm not sure. Have I? When have I? And could I do that a bit more? So yeah, I really appreciated that arrival, that way of arriving together in this call. Um, yeah, for some of you, I mean, I see a lot of familiar names and faces here, but I won't assume that everyone here or watching the recording, welcome to everyone watching the recording as well, won't assume that people know me. So I'd like to just share that my journey started like over 20 years ago now with permaculture, and seeing quite quickly how we want it, permaculture could be so important to us in a multitude of ways beyond the garden, and exploring that and writing my book People and Permaculture to really make it relevant to everyone, and then moving that toolkit into cultural emergence, and then that toolkit going from courses to books to the card deck, which we'll play with in a bit, and yeah, and then actually growing from a toolkit into a movement, which is where there's so many people around the world that are using cultural emergence nowadays, that are really using it in their own way in their own communities, and that's what's really exciting, when people are bringing in their collective wisdom into the process. So that's yeah, that's really delightful to see that evolution that's happening and that emergence. And yeah, I know that some of you are already part of this, and I hope that many more will be inspired to join in. And that's, yeah, and today I'm feeling really grateful. It's my daughter's 16th birthday yesterday, and just grateful for all the community that grows up and holds a person as they they become an adult. And yeah, grateful that we had a fun family time yesterday. So I'll pass to you, Emma, because you're just down the road from me, aren't you? We've had the day together yesterday. So yeah, if you'd like to share how your journey with cultural emergence and what you're co-facilitating with me this year, and we can unpack it more later in the call as well.
I'm Emma Gilbert. I also live in Herefordshire in the UK. I live just down the road from Looby in Applewood Permaculture Centre, where she lives. And I've known Looby for a long time, but I started working with them in 2018, helping with courses. And that started my cultural emergence journey, joining the ACE course. And then later I joined the Activating Cultural Emergence and the CEED course and the Peace course. So I've been on the courses, and I've also started to help co-facilitate with Looby, and I've been facilitating on the Mothers as Natural Leaders course, which we'll talk about later, and the Live Leading Mother Nature Circles course. And yeah, I support Looby a lot with her work. We're doing the web design newsletters. If you've read them, I'm responsible for those hitting your inbox, and yeah, working to support in the courses, and just really immerse myself in cultural emergence when I really decided to listen instead of just working for Looby. I was like, oh, actually, I really enjoy this. This is amazing. Actually, this is great for my life. So yeah, it's really good when you take that moment of encouragement to step in and do more than just the absolute minimum. It's, yeah, really brought a lot to me. So thank you. And yeah, shall I pass on to Delvin? Pass to you.
Yay, we made it. I'm so grateful to be here today. Yeah, I'm Delvin Solkinson, and wow, I've gotten so much benefit from cultural emergence and from permaculture. I think I connected first with Looby at the original Applewood site in 2015. It was a teacher training with Looby and her amazing partner, Chris Evans, and also Rosemary Morrow, one of the luminaries of permaculture. And it's been so powerfully uplifting and transformative in the best of ways. I'm currently doing the CEED course that maybe you'll hear more about later, but I think it's for the 4th time, and I'm learning so much each time. This whole path of lifelong learning and continuing to take classes and upgrade and deepen my knowledge and my practice has been something that has really kept my life going and moved me forward and given me that exciting feeling that there's meaning everywhere and I'm moving steadily forward towards my dreams and my goals. It's really created this sense of like I'm on an adventure. So I'm really grateful to Luby and Emma and Leona and all of the different amazing teachers that have been collaborating with Luby to share cultural emergence. I think I am known for liking my quotes, so I'll just throw a quote in at the beginning here. This is from Paul Hawken, who I've been getting into recently. He says, "My advice for people is to love the world that they are in whatever way makes sense for them. It may be a devotional practice. It may be song or poetry. It may be gardening. It may be as an activist or a scientist or a community leader. The path to restoration extends from our heart to the heart of sentient beings, and that path will be different for every person." So yeah, I'm grateful to be here on the path and meet you on this amazing path. And I look forward to connecting more with some of you online and maybe even in person along the way. Oh, Beth's just arrived too. Amazing. So I'll tag that back to Luby.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this is the team that I'm working with over this year, also working with John Young online, and Kate Gathercall is coming to do the ACE in person. So yeah, so some other people as well, and then my partner Chris, who is on another call at the moment. So there's other people that are involved in this. So there's quite a lot of collaboration and co-creation happening, and that's really when the courses happen, as Delvin said, each time he does it. And I think actually we all said that each time we do a course we add more layers to the learning, because we're learning from everyone on the course. It becomes this group experience where we're all connecting and learning with each other, which yeah, it's really a valuable way of learning, I think. And I was just thinking then, okay, well, we've how do we explain cultural emergence? And so I picked out some cards that I was just like, how do I explain it? And then these were the cards that came out, which were perfect, these two, and then I found the other one. So and this one here is for connection practices, and this is really what Leona really demonstrated beautifully in that opening activity of hers, of how critical it is that we connect with ourselves, with each other, with the more than human world, as a practice, that we embody that, and that through that then we feel part of the bigger picture of life, and we connect with our own nature, and then we can connect with the individual and collective wisdom, genius, power, gifts, and authentic selves. So that's the connection practices card. I always struggle when people say, what is cultural emergence? And so this is a new way of describing it through cards. And then this one came up, which is the manifesting through design and action. So we've got energy, clarity, and commitment flow with the attention and intention of design. Be honest about limits, patterns, and resources to make realistic plans. Put appropriate time, energy, and motivation into implementing the design. So it's actually the toolkit is for creating positive change, and we can do that by being proactive with our designs. And then we have the word culture in there, and so awareness of culture is really part of this whole journey, and for ourselves personally as well as collectively, like, what is culture, exploring our personal culture, and then how do we change that and be consciously choose the cultures we want. So we've, on the card, it says, culture is a complex web of seen and unseen patterns of thinking, behaving, interacting and feeling. Observe your own personal culture, and culture is an active, dynamic process that you can influence. So that's a kind of brief synopsis of what cultural emergence is, and how we its purpose, its aims, and some of the tools that we can use. So it's a whole collection of tools. There's there's 96 cards in here, and that was 3 of them, but they are 3 that really kind of hold. They're quite strong pillars in the whole container of cultural emergence.
I would love to share a little bit about how I came into cultural emergence.
Yeah, lovely. I was about to say who it would, someone. Yeah, please do, Leona. I was about to pass it over to someone, so you've got the ball.
So, I went through a phase quite a while ago in my 20s where I just felt like there's got to be more to life. There's got to be more than this. I just felt lost and quite confused at the chaos that I was seeing and the level of disconnect. I was a social worker. And I just felt amongst my friends and family that there was just not what I felt in my body was needed. And I started this journey of seeking, of exploring what is there. And I did this amazing course called Earth Activist Training with Starhawk, who's an amazing permaculture teacher. And it opened my mind and my world to earth-based spirituality and connection and permaculture. And that's how I came across people and permaculture. My passion has always been about connecting people. And I learned through People and Permaculture, the book, which was my Bible for a little while, because it encompassed so many of the ways that I had been learning and about to build cultures of connection at a systemic level, in order that in my everyday life I would feel more connected, that I would be able to be around people who understood the same need for deeply alive, the aliveness that happens whenever you feel like you're in flow and you know what your purpose is, what the meaning is of us coming together as humans. And so coming into cultural emergence and experiencing the 8 shields with John Young, and learning as I am eco-psychology, I really started to experience a shift in the world around me, in my own world. And I started creating designs with the design web. And one of those designs was a design for a rite of passage process, which I now lead, called the Questing with Fire. And Questing with Fire came from a combination of the 8 shields, which is very embedded in the connection practices that are supported in cultural emergence, and the cultural emergence flow of understanding what are the optimum conditions for connection and how we can come together to create regenerative cultures where everybody has a role, everybody feels welcome and a sense of belonging. And now, 3 years into this process of creating a community, I feel now I'm not just a facilitator or a course leader, but that I have around me a community that actually understands the need and purpose of regular group gatherings on the land with others to celebrate life and to think about how we want to move forwards together. as humans. And everyone will have their own version of what it is that they want to bring in. But what I've learned from the tools are both personal practices and community practices, practices that create cultures of regenerative thinking and being, in order that we can actually really dream into the world of our longing. Like, what if you could actually create around you a regenerative culture where everybody understands how to move forward, how to work with conflict, how to tend grief, how to really deepen the connection to the land. It's a really exciting place to be in the world of cultural emergence and all that comes with it. So I wanted to share that journey because of the card that came up about planning and manifesting your dream, because it's really happened in my life. I've done a lot of training over the years. I run an organization that promotes nature connection, and I'm a life coach and an eco-psychologist, but I bring in all of this, and it's all the same thing. It's about living in a more connected way. So I'm really excited and feel very privileged and honored to be here with others who are considering those same questions, those really deep and needed questions that I think can expand and ripple out into a world that brings a better way of being. And I think that's from me.
Yeah, thank you, Leona. That's really lovely. And I was wondering if there was anyone else in the room. I know there's people in the room that have done the CEED course, that have been using the CEED Deck, reading the books. Is there anyone who would like to share some of their experience, how cultural emergence has supported them? Anyone like to? Priscilla?
Well, thank you, Looby, Emma, and all the participants, plus Leona. I just finished my CED course recently after a lot of practice of permaculture since I got desire to do to translate permaculture to people, and really it's helped me. The last few weeks I've been doing this course to do the microgreen designs that have helped me in the implementation of a long-term plan for Arc of Food and Nutrition Sovereignty. So it's worth the effort and time. I'm grateful.
Yeah, thank you, Priscilla. It's really, really nice to have you on the course from Kenya and to feel the global community. Yeah. Anyone else like to share?
Hello.
Hi, Dan. Would you like to share?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan from Rusinga Island, Kenya. I'm a forest, I'm a permaculture practitioner, a forest farmer. Since 2014 up to now, I've been serving as a beacon of sustainability, seamlessly integrating permaculture, syntropic agroforestry, and restoring back the lost mother forest. And in my art usually lies a mission. I believe that change is a collective effort, and I'm so much happy. This is my first time being with you guys here in this amazing program, and I'm so much happy. I'm so much ready to learn. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that. Change is a collective effort. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a lovely phrase. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, lovely. Lovely. Okay, if anyone else feels they want to say anything. Lovely that we've had 2 Kenyans speaking. Yeah, lovely. So yeah, maybe we'll share about the different courses and then see, because I know we're using this, like the ACE course and the CEED course and the PEACE course, so maybe we'll give the outline of those courses, and then we'll go into a bit more about each one of them. Emma, could you screen share the mandala?
I'll just keep working in the background. It seems to have disappeared.
Okay, that's fine. So I was, when we were designing the learning pathways for cultural emergence, we were aware that it's a non-linear process, that there's 3 different modules of cultural emergence. Could you zoom in a little bit, Emma, so we can see it? Brilliant, perfect, thank you. And so I was trying to kind of illustrate these 3 modules in a non-linear fashion. So we have the ACE course, which is activating cultural emergence, the CEED course, cultural emergence effective design, and the PEACE course, peace, empowerment and cultural emergence. And so we have these 3 modules, and you can approach them in any order. They layer learning on top of each other. So if you come in and you do the CEED and then you do the PEACE, then you can do the ACE, or in any combination of them. And each of them relate to the different phases. So the ACE course really relates to the I'll show you another card, the challenge and awaken phase. So this is, I'll read from the card. Believe change is possible, loosen the status quo to explore new possibilities, experiment with disrupting patterns. How can you gently challenge and awaken others? So that's the challenge and awaken, where we're really exploring what culture is and what systems is, and looking at the whole toolkit. And then we have the Move and Invigorate the CEED course, which is about designing pathways forward. So this is about using the design web, which is a framework that I created, which is about finding ways to contribute and have positive impact in the world and be effective and make incremental improvements, like Leona was saying, how she's designed one thing and then those designs are built upon each other. And so that's the Move and Invigorate phase, which relates to the CEED course. And we have the 3rd one is the PEACE course, which is about the Nourish and Empower phase. So this is about the connection practices that we talked about, the bringing in fun and creativity to rejuvenate ourselves, to take time for self-care, to connect with the more than human world, ourselves and each other. And that's the Nourish and Empower phase. So thanks for screen sharing, Emma. You could stop now. So those are the 3 different modules from cultural emergence, which relate to then the 3 phases. And so yeah, so Emma, you whoa, sorry, my light has a mind of its own today. Emma, you were actually a participant on the PEACE course with me and Leona last year, weren't you? So would you like to share a little bit about how it was for you as a participant and any of your highlights from the week we spent together?
Yeah, it was really, it's great to be a participant. It's great to be part of a group of people. So when you come together, it's not just, it's me, I'm on a course, I'm doing nothing. There's a whole group of different individuals who come together that by the end of the course, we're kind of being a community and creating community. And that was one of the really powerful things that we're we're eating together, we're learning together, we're sitting around the fire in the evenings, we're sharing stories, we're sharing emotions, we're sharing about our experiences, which was really beautiful. And we were out up in the orchard at Applewood, which is just a really lovely wild space next to it. You can see out across the valley and in the market. It's beautifully warm, so the weather was perfect to be there with different people. And so and just really learning, being in nature and really connecting to nature and taking that time to slow down, to ground yourself, to really be present, to really be aware of what it's bringing to you, where that sits within you. So it's not just I'm going for a walk. It's like, what is it like to actually sit here and be in nature? What is it like to feel the grass, to feel the wind, to see the animals, to take that moment to connect with them and really on a much deeper level and be more connected with the more than human world. And one of the most amazing things for me, which really pushed me to the edge of my own comfort zone, was we did a night of sleeping out on our own out on the land. And I've never done that before. I've done lots of camping, but it's always like, you know, a tent and duvets and people with me and all those things, your phone and all of those other bits. And it was just me and a bivvy bag out in nature in the grass. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to enjoy being in here. I'm going to not be able to sleep because there's lots of animal sounds. And actually it was just magical to lie there as the sunset and the dusk rose and hearing the birds going to bed and then hearing the owls coming out, seeing the bats, seeing the stars come up, and really just having that moment. I would never have taken that moment if Looby especially hadn't encouraged me to do that. And to be there and be with just me, to reflect on who I am, on my relationship to culture, on my relationship to nature, and very importantly on my relationship to myself, and finding that the land really held me, that nature really held me, and that it was just it's a moment that stays with me now. Every time I go out at dusk, I'm always like, oh, kind of back to that moment. And it's a connection I hadn't had before with that time of day. And I've spent time doing sit spots and nature connection practices, and there's always moments to go that step further and do that. And I didn't sleep the best, but that's okay. But then I finally woke up and it was just a glorious sun in the morning, and to wake up and come back with the group and then sit together and be in that circle and share our experiences together was just a really, yeah, special moment that's touched with me and stayed with me a long time. So yeah, it was really good. That's me.
Yeah, thank you, Emma. Yeah, so Leona co-facilitates. We've done is it 3 now we've done and we're on our 4th? Is that right? Or is it 2 and we're on our 3rd? Maybe it's 2. We're on. Yeah, but we've connected at other times during the year in other ways, so we lose track. But yeah, so Leona is quite a special, magical person, as you might already have guessed and have a sense of it. So it's been really beautiful to co-facilitate with her and lots of fun. But Leona, what's it like for you coming to Applewood and co-facilitating the Peace Course? What's your highlights from it? Why do you keep on coming back for more?
Well, so much richness. Where do I start? One of the things that I've learned in recent years is about the importance of the somatic experiencing, you know, how we can think a lot and we know a lot about how we need to be and change, and we can understand psychologically what is needed to change behavior and what is needed to change culture. But if we don't actually have a healthy culture around us, and all around us is what we see is disconnect in our society through the news and the fear and the, you know, the things that are happening around the world, we're not really getting to embed it so that we can understand what it actually feels like to be safe, what it actually feels like to be fully welcome, and what it actually feels like to really hear your own inner self and your own thoughts in a way that allows them to be expressed authentically. So what we do through the course of the piece is gently, very gently, and without really knowing that we're doing it, drop into a space of you know, where your nervous system can slowly come down to be relaxed, and so that we can actually start to open to the other than human world, so that we can actually create spaces to really listen to other people's voices and to start to express. And one of the things that we do is sing a lot. We sing, and we last year a highlight for me was when we were deep down in the valley. We'd walked barefoot, just experiencing ourselves as the animal human that we are, all the way to the bottom of the valley. And we dropped into, through some nature connection practice, dropped into that space of real open bodily awareness. And we started a guided voicing, guiding sound practice, where we started to learn to open our voices. And we were, there was no one around for miles, just apart from our little group. And we'd been with each other for a few days by this point. So there was a relative sense of comfort with each other and familiarity. And we started this sounding process, and it was just magical what comes out whenever you don't have to sound beautiful and you don't have to sound melodic or harmonious, but sometimes it just happens. There's like a moment where something happens, and there's this real beautiful resonance that comes together. And I think that's a bit like life, isn't it? We don't always sound beautiful, and we don't always know what to do next, but when you're in a safe place, you can explore that. And so the whole week is really about that. Who am I when I don't have to fit into a certain culture? I don't have to fit into a certain static description of what other people know me as. How would I be if I was in a culture where I was free to sing, free to move, free to greet the day with the sunshine and be my fully natural self? One of the things that I've learned as a life coach and doing ecotherapy is that almost everyone I ever work with comes with some sense of overwhelm. Even if it's other people like me, coaches, facilitators, therapists, who understand how important it is to take time for self, it's really hard to do that because of the pace of life that we live in. And so nourish and empower are the themes of the Peace Course. And it does exactly that. It brings us into that really contained and intentional space, which is purposefully set up to nourish us deeply at the core in a way that probably we don't allow very often in our lives ever. And really then comes this sort of openness, this empowering sense of, what can I do next? From this place, what could I create? From this place, who could I connect with? From this place, how can I be in the world that is going to bring about more of this in my everyday life? And that's what the other parts of the cultural emergence process also bring, that active state of designing and creating and bringing it to our people. So yeah, I could go on because there's so many amazing memories and so many amazing parts to it. I feel like it's just so rich with depth, and it brings together so many beautiful teachings and practices from the work that reconnects, from John Young's deep work with nature connection and cultural regeneration, and simple earth connected ceremonial grief practices, and yeah, so much there. And doing with our hands, I just need to share that. We've made nettle string, and we've learned the bow drill, how to start the fire without without any external things, just from nature. And it's that sort of heart and hand bringing together of all the ways that we can be together and explore what that is. So yeah, if I could keep doing this every year for the rest of my life, I think I'll be happy and a much healthier person.
Yeah. Thank you, Leona, for sharing. That took me right back to summer last year, and yeah, really excited about the Peace Course, and we could carry on talking about the Peace Course, but I also want to share about the other courses that we have. And the ACE course is a weekend here at Applewood that we've got happening in May, and we're also doing that online as well, because I know not everyone can travel here to Applewood, so that is going available where you can join now. We're just launching it at the moment, and we'll have our first live call for that in a few weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks actually, so it's April suddenly in full flow, and so that's really looking forward to that. It's a good starting place for the journey as well, although I said it was non-linear. It's also, that is a good starting place. So if people want to join in with that, it's really is that, like, awaken to possibilities is on the card for the challenge and awaken. That's really what it feels like. You know, you're suddenly like, all this possibilities for changing who I am as a person and having that ripple out. That's really important. And Emma, so we also another process, a question about the Peace Course couldn't happen online. We did actually, John and I did run it online once, just as we were coming out the pandemic, and I think at that stage where people were still isolated but wanting community, it did work. But there is it just does work so much better in person that it is worth coming to. Maybe next year, John and I might have another try at how we could run it in a different way. Yeah, you'd get different things out of it. I think this is what I'm learning from the difference between online and in-person courses is they're just different beasts, really. They're just completely different things that are not comparable. You know, there's something to be said about online courses because you're there immersed in your own life, and so you're able to make those small incremental changes and reflect about what's really happening, and it can be sort of more sustainable. Like when you go in person to a course, you're in a bubble, and it's like fully immersive, but then sometimes the bubble pops when you go home and it doesn't stay. So they both have their pros and cons. Yeah, I enjoy both of them. I enjoy online, being able to, you know, be in my own home and connecting with all of you around the world. We've got Australia, Kenya, Canada, Italy, Poland. We've got so many countries in the room here in this Zoom room. It's incredible. And I also love sitting around the fire with people in my own home as well. So yeah, they have their places. Yeah, so and then the other project that I do is the Mother Nature project with Emma, and she was going to show some photos. We've got a Mothers as Natural Leaders course coming up, which is like where mothering and cultural emergence meet. I would call it kind of sort of cultural emergence for mothers, really. And Emma's going to show you some photos, which will also give you a kind of a little insight into Applewood here. So over to you, Emma.
Okay. Slideshow. So these photos were taken when we were running, had some funding from Erasmus Plus, made to check them, even though the project has finished now for that funding, and it was Mothers in Action course at Applewood last May. And there was a lot of laughter. And this is what the Mothers as Natural Leaders course is the same, is a lot of connecting with women and sitting in circle together, sharing our leadership stories, sharing stories of our life, our families, our children, everything around us, nature. And there's always a lot of laughter there. And this is us up in the Applewood orchard up in the marquee, which is open-sided. So on a sunny day, you're really present with the sun. On a grey day, you're really present with the grey. And actually, each of those different, being really in nature and in the weather is fantastic. And you just see it up there. This was last spring, so we're there with the up in the orchard, and it's just a lovely way of being together and learning in nature, and nature becomes part of your toolkit to learn from. So you might hear a bird come through, or a spider comes across at the most opportune moment when you're talking about the design web and the interconnectedness of design. And those are really important moments to be out in nature learning, which is one of the fantastic things at Applewood. And for the Mothers as Natural Leaders course, we've got the Mother Nature Journey cards on the left and the Mother Nature Leadership cards, which is a new set we do. We've used those in the course to help us ground ourselves. And now we have Looby's amazing CEED Deck, the Cultural Emergence, Empowerment and Design Deck, which she also has been using for years up in the orchard, but now has the beautiful printed copy that she's made. And actually using those to help us focus, but also then as Jane here sat here, having those moments of alone time to journal, be in nature and be out in the sunshine. There's me with some of the principles from the colouring book for the Cultural Emergence principles, and we use these throughout all of the courses that Looby does and we do with the Mother Nature Project to help us connect. So for the Mothers as Natural Leaders course, using it to connect with our own leadership and really drilling down into that. And lots of embodied practices. So it's not just sitting about looking at paper, is getting into your body, getting into your senses, getting out on the land and really experiencing that connection with people. And in this photo, we were looking at leading each other through movements and how leadership isn't just about words, it's about your body, your whole presence and leading it. But a lot of fun. There's a lot of giggling with this one too. And this is just a view out over the land and just really feeling that there's a lot of space as well. You're not just hemmed in, you've got time to allow your own expansion of how you consider your leadership or cultural emergence, and also just being held by the land and looking down to the hub area where there's the beautiful yurt where we sometimes go inside, get the fire going in the evening, and we had lots of songs and storytelling in there, both on all of the courses I've been in, they're involved with as a participant or facilitating with, and sitting in circle. And there's always the food. Sometimes we bring food to share. Sometimes I'm cooking. I also have a cooking hat that I sometimes put on, and we have other people who come and share. And at Applewood, a lot of it is grown there. So the salads, and you see some of the purslane, and it's about preparing good, nutritious food that feeds our body and our heart and our soul together, and fun and sharing and chatting. And this picture in the middle actually won an award for one of, I can't remember what the one was. It was for a food, I think it was the Big Lunch or something, and they wanted a picture of people enjoying a meal together. And yeah, Christina Panicali, who took these for us, did that. And then finally we're down at the hub sharing food and being together and having that moment. And then the evening around the fire, chatting, laughing, crying, connecting. And for the Mothers as Natural Leaders course, it was a really great place for us to step into different parts of our own leadership and explore it through singing and sharing a story and sharing a moment, and in the Peace course, lighting fire and things. So yeah, that's a little flavour of Applewood. I'll hand it back to you, Looby.
Yeah, that's lovely. It's just seeing those photos where it's a little bit grey outside now, but we know that the sun will come at some point here. It's really lovely. Yeah, I don't know, Delvin, is now a good time for you, or do you want
Sure,
to?
yeah, that seems good. It's a good compliment to what Emma was just sharing, actually, because I have a few pictures of courses there. Let's see if I can find the screen share. How's that looking?
Yeah. Got it.
Got it? Oh, sweet. Well, Maya Angelou said life is pure adventure, and the sooner we realize that, the quicker we will be able to treat life as art. And yeah, it was heartwarming seeing Emma shares, and I'm really excited, as is my dear wife, to pilgrimage out to Applewood Permaculture Centre this year for a weekend. It's kind of near the end of the course offerings at Applewood. It's just such a beautiful place to visit. This is us last year in one of the lower gardens. And this is the upper tent that Emma was referring to. It's, you know, tucked in this magical little corner of England right near the Welsh border. This incredible permaculture demonstration site with forests and orchard and gardens and fields and amazing views. And it's totally set up to be able to, you know, host transformative and uplifting learning journeys with groups of people. Yeah, this gives a little sense of things. But yeah, there's all sorts of different amazing people and creatures and animals and insects and plants all coming together. Tons of different classrooms. We kind of walk around through the orchard, go into the food forest, you know, gaze out across the valley. There's Grandmother Oak, who is always a wonderful being to hug or to gather around. And then all these indoor spaces too, if it's cloudy out or rainy, the yurt and the open air tent that I showed last time. There's also a wonder dog named Baloo, who is quite an extraordinary being, one of the teachers there. There's a bunch of cosmic cats, Casper and Milky. I can't remember if this is Casper or Milky, but definitely enjoying a sunrise.
Yeah, I get the screen of your photos a bit behind me. So what color is we need to
It's
get the right
gray,
cat?
gray with the white tummy.
Oh, there's Hiddles when he was a tiny baby, the black one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm way behind in
It
the
sounds like there's a
photo.
real stagger going on. I think it's
That's
Casper, right?
Casper. That's Casper, yeah.
So this is an old picture of Hiddleston, who I met at the original Applewood site, and I didn't have a newer picture. And I loved this little gazing in wonder at Looby pic. It's totally adorable. And there's even a magical bunny named Mulch, who seems like a Buddha type character, just happy sitting, holding space in the land. So there's a teaching team, more than just human teaching team on the site. And of course, learning from all the other people that come is one of the big highlights, getting to bond and become friends with, you know, in real time with all sorts of other people. So yeah, this one opportunity of many is we're going to pilgrimage out from Canada here to the later weekend in September. It's actually going to happen over the autumn equinox, which would be pretty special. And it's a weekend advanced design course. So it's open to anyone who has experience already with permaculture and cultural emergence. And we're going to be playing with Looby's design web and just having fun in all these conscious classrooms and practicing design. And we kind of have a joyful, creative, fun, dynamic set of experiences of advanced learning, design games. We're going to share meals together. And also a really powerful part is sharing connection time around the campfire at night. So really going to stack it and pack it and create lots of opportunities, not only for nature connection, but also for connecting with each other. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited about it for sure. So that's an in-person offering. And we also have a online offering. Let's see if I might have to just whip back through these to get to the beginning here, which is again, on the more advanced level, a deeper level. After completing a permaculture design certificate, some people choose to do a diploma. And that is a deeper, more committed path. Although we've broken it down into some really achievable steps. This is a sort of picture of us on the path, on the path at Applewood, going down to Grandmother Oak. And when I was there that weekend, I was musing about how this work of learning and becoming better is almost like a mystery school. It's a place where there's learning adventures that are kind of like heroes' quests that welcome people to self-initiate into the mystery of their lives and unlock the next level of their lives by learning to be more effective decision makers and actionaries. And it's incredibly motivating and activating to be on the journey with a bunch of other people who are also on the journey. So one of the ways this diploma has been broken down, and I'm so grateful to note it, is that the full diploma is 10 designs, but there's a stepping stone that's been created, which is called the Certificate in Applied Permaculture Design, a foundation of the diploma. So this is achieved by doing 2 designs, by completing 2 designs that are also assessed. So instead of having to commit to that long process, which might be 2 or more years, this, what we're calling the foundations diploma, is can be done with 2 designs. So sometimes people do 1 design in the CEED course and take that to the next level, and then there's just 1 other design to do. So this diploma journey and this foundations diploma journey can be done one-to-one with a mentor, which is how it's often done. And alternatively, we designed this learning adventure for people that wanted to share in the journey and be part of a cohort, be part of a group or learning guild of people that are all kind of sharing in the journey and supporting each other. So I was thinking about the cultural emergence principles for creating fields of encouragement and recognizing the importance of making connection first, which these courses are all about connection, you know, and giving and receiving encouragement, which is so motivating and uplifting, and using the intelligence of cooperating hearts and getting together with all of these amazing people to set goals and support each other to work towards them. And certainly it does take courage to head out on a learning adventure. I totally get it. I mean, life is so full with responsibility and engagement, and it is, yeah, it takes a lot of will and a lot of motivation and sort of inner strength to take on more and step into a learning journey. And so I see this, we're calling it the group diploma adventure, as kind of a school for the extraordinary. People of all ages, experience levels, and locations on the planet who want the support of a conscious and really fun group of people, supporting and motivating them to complete designs for meaningful areas in their lives, including making good decisions and being proactive and moving towards their goals. This is, I've shown some graphics from Brenna Quinlan, but this is a close-up of the coloring book that Emma shared, and this was from our course last year. So yeah, the group meets monthly online. We have group tutorials, and people are also placed into peer groups that we call action learning guilds that meet independent from us. So there's these group activations, and then there's also these meetings with other participants in the program separately. And there's design tutorials. There's also design assessments, where designs that you're doing are assessed against the diploma criteria. And that's a real deep learning process as well. And there's a really steady evolutionary kind of succession through as you learn and become better and better and better with each design. We also have a really amazing online community on Circle Space, which hosts groups for the other courses. And also, you don't need to be taking a course to engage with the Circle Space. And yeah, people can share designs, interact, generate great ideas, exchange encouragement. And there's a bunch of, for the group diploma adventure specifically, there's a collection of designs and short videos from Looby and myself about permaculture and cultural emergence principles and frameworks and tools and processes for designing. So yeah, there we are back at the beginning. That's a few things about these 2 courses. This pretty accessible weekend course over autumn equinox at Applewood, and then the longer group diploma adventure that supports people in achieving this foundations diploma, or the longer full diploma in applied permaculture design. So yeah, so many amazing opportunities, both online and in person. And I look forward to interacting with those here and those that are watching the recording afterwards, meeting you along this extraordinary path. Back to Looby.
Yeah, wow. Thank you both for sharing all those the memories of Applewood, and yeah, being in community is really, really wonderful. Yeah, as Delvin just said, there's opportunities in our online community. There's a free cultural emergence taster course, which I think Emma will drop the link in. And there you go. Thank you. Yeah, so I was wondering if any of you had any questions. I see some things coming up in the chat. Is that everyone was very excited when you started showing all the animal pictures of the cats and rabbit and dog, and that all our pets here they're part of the community, definitely. And then the owls and the trees here, Grandmother Oak, they're all part of our teaching team as well, definitely. Are there any questions people have? There was a question about the closest airports, which is Birmingham or Manchester to get to Applewood. Any other questions that anyone has? Are there any examples of designs to have a better understanding of what can be done with the tools? I was wondering, Emma, have you got the link to the design web page on our on the circle on our website? So there you go. So that's a page where you can see the design web. It doesn't have designs that are actually there. It's one of my designs in process to think about how we can share designs and have I have an idea of a design library, and I'm just starting work on my next book, which will be about the design web, and then having design library on my website, Looby Macnamara. There are a couple of designs I've shared there, and then this is the design web. So the CEED course takes us through the design web, and we've just started coming to the end of that now, but we will be offering that again online in the autumn, around October time, and that where we take you through the designs, and we start really gently with like designing your week, and then choosing something small and then building up from there. But certainly if you want to find out more about the design web, then I've got lots in both cultural emergence and people and permaculture. Here's the design web there, and people use it for like when they're in a transition, when they want to learn a skill, when they're looking after people, when they're creating course programs. Really there's no end to what you can design with that. It's really what's in front of you, designing your room. This was my design was excuse me, was actually design it like working out this this room here and painting this wall and seeing how that evolves. So it can be something really small that's in front of you, but then things grow from that. So yes. So Delvin, do you want to explain about the costings for the group diploma adventure? Suzanne's asking.
Yes, we've broken it down, as has the Permaculture Association, which I think really makes it more accessible, into monthly payments. So the Permaculture Association is a monthly payment of 12 Great British pounds, and that's kind of automated, and you can choose to pay for the year, but it's nice to spread it out. And then the group diploma adventure is a monthly of 20 pounds. So it's 32 pounds a month. It's pretty accessible to spread out over time. And the design assessments are separate from that. We really wanted to unplug them so people could just do the assessments when they had capacity and had a design that they were ready to do. So that also spreads out those costs, and that there's group tutorials and assessments, that's kind of the process where you come and do a group tutorial and look at the design and how it can be improved and making sure it meets the criteria, and then it's assessed, because then it's already kind of designed for success to meet that goal. So yeah.
Thanks, Delvin. And then the second question was, are the designs following the design web or more permaculture landscaping design? And you would you can use other frameworks. I would say, for the diploma, for the 10 designs, they would like at least 2 to either be people-based or 2 land-based. Because of our specialities with Delvin and I, our program tends to be more people-based designs. There is some land-based element to that, but if you were wanting to really focus on land-based designs, then possibly there might be other tutors and other programs that are more appropriate for you. But because a lot of the people that come on our diploma is really really keen to develop their people-based design skills. So yeah, but Delvin, maybe you could pop in your email into the chat as well if people would like to know more about the GDA. Thank you. Yeah, so great. If you're more interested in people-based design than landscape design, then you're in the right place. Yeah, and
we do encourage people to do the land-based designs too, and we want you to do at least some land-based designs in the diploma. So yeah, we're here to support that too, and I just wanted to highlight that as well. It's yeah, it's a mix.
Yeah.
So I was also going to name, although it's away towards the end of 2025, that there will be the Cultural Emergence Leadership Training, the CELT course. We were going to do it this year, but we've postponed it to for another year, because we actually would love, as there were people who wanted to attend who weren't able to fulfill the criteria to get onto it. So in order to join the Cultural Emergence Leadership Training, which is a whole year's journey starting in 2025, people would need to have, in some way, they would need to have completed the ACE, the PEACE, and the CEED course, online or in person. And there are opportunities now throughout the year to do those. I just thought I would put that in now, because I know that some people have been asking about it and hearing about it, and yeah, between now and September 2025, there are going to be lots of opportunities to complete those in order to be able to join.
Yeah, and thank you. Liana, sorry if I said your name right, Liana, please correct me.
Yes, that's right, Looby. Apologies again for being a dark screen. I just haven't been able to work out my video this time around. Sorry.
Okay. So, could you say your name again and your question?
Oh yes, it's Leanna. So you got it right. And yeah, I'm really wanting to head down the pathway of teaching social permaculture. And I'm from Australia. There doesn't seem to be, I've looked everywhere here, and there just doesn't seem to be anywhere offering that kind of pathway for us here in Australia. And it seems like, it'd be something amazing to bring to Australia. The term social permaculture is just starting to kind of trickle in here, but yeah. Anyway, I really resonate with it. I'd love to become a social permaculture teacher, and so it was your program that attracted me to doing the CEED course. I'm wondering, what steps I would need to take to be able to get to that place, and could I do that online? I'm probably, the likelihood of me getting to London or to England is probably really low. It's almost zero,
Yeah.
probably. So
Yeah, I think
I'm noticing that some courses can be done online and some can't in the later in the build,
yes. Yeah, so we've had that dilemma, because as we were talked about, particularly with the Peace course, how lovely it is to be in person. So that was part of, and we have had requests from yourselves in Australia and other places of like, oh, I really want to do that. I think, if you want to teach permaculture, I would recommend checking out Robin Clayfield in Australia. She's in Crystal Waters, and she does amazing teach trainings as well. So to get the teaching skills, going on an in-person training would be really invaluable with her. We will look at how we can adapt the Peace course, and how we can even adapt the CELT course, the Cultural Emergence Leadership Training, and how we can weave and make it accessible for people online internationally. So stay in touch, join us for the ACE course online. And what I would really say to anyone that wants to take this on, into leadership, into facilitation, I think there's two things. One I would say is that it's really important to have your own stories. So do the design work, do the nature connection, explore your own culture, so that when you show up to teach, you're able to talk about it firsthand, like Leona did at the beginning, of like, well, I started designing and these changes happened in my life, rather than, well, Looby says that these changes will happen in your life when you start. It's like, no, do the work yourself. So do that, and then you'll have those stories, and you'll be able to really embody it and be present when you're facilitating. So I would say, keep a journal of what's changing for you as well, as you engage more and more with cultural emergence. And the other thing I was going to say about becoming a facilitator, becoming a leader in your communities, is to recognize that you are going to be able to reach people that I can't. So Priscilla out there in Kenya, she's leading circles with women, and she's reaching those people that I'm not going to be able to do that. Maybe I could, but if I did that, then I wouldn't be able to come to Australia and do that there as well. And I can't be in all these places, but you have got this unique opportunity to influence the people around you, to become a leader in your own communities. So and that you have skills already to do that. You don't need to feel like, oh, I need to wait until I've got these qualifications, or done it for this long, or got this permission. It's like, no, you can already start talking to people and engaging people. So it's a beautiful story from our friend Karim, who was on one of these calls a few years ago in Turkey, and was just like, I've got to come to the UK to join the Peace course. And he joined the Peace course, and then later the summer did the ACE course, and then came back for teach training. And now he's in Lebanon, and he's going round. He's printed out the colouring book numerous times, and when he meets up with friends, he says, oh, pick one of these, and then sometimes everyone's colouring there, or he says, colour it later and send me a send me a photo of it. And then he so he's then become a leader in Lebanon, and he brought loads of people onto the CEED course, and he's sharing it, and then he's running cultural emergence courses out there in his own language. And you know, you can reach people that I can't. So share this. You know, this is what I was saying about what's exciting about cultural emergence at the moment is becoming a movement, and that you all that have shown up here, that are watching the recording, you are able to be part of that movement and move cultural emergence forwards, move these tools, share them out with your community, inspire your friends to find out more, share them by role modeling how inspired and connected you are. That's really, you know, that's really the thing. So, you know, be on the pathway, make the changes, do the work yourself, share it with others, and then these opportunities to, you know, skill up more and more will arrive, and you'll be able to take them and share with them more. So yeah, that's my moment of inspiring you all, hopefully. Give me a heart if you feel inspired now. Yeah, lovely. 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 Well, we're coming to a close now. So I think, Leona, we talked about songs and you know, how joyful it is, singing round the fire, and this is another thing that's kind of come out, and you're thinking, well, yes, but singing around the fire is great, but can we sing online? And actually, yes, we can sing online. So in a moment we'll pass over to Leona, but before we do that, we also wanted to share with you that we are doing a spring energy special offer. So we just wanted to offer a discount on our May and June courses. So we've got the ACE course and the Peace course and the Mothers as Natural Leaders course in May and June, and then Chris has got the Forest Gardening course and Introduction to Permaculture course. So we've got lots happening in May and June, and we'd really, you know, the courses are filling up, but we'd really love to just inspire you to just go and book, and so we can fill our courses in the next 10 days. So we've got till the next the week on Sunday, so the 21st, and you get a £25 discount on that, on those courses. So Emma's put the details in the chat, but you'll see it on our website as well. And then we're also still in the zone of the early bird discount for the September advanced design course as well. So yeah, so if you're feeling the call and want to kind of you know, go, yes, I'm ready to jump in, because that also makes our lives easier for our planning as well. And so, and yeah, and the ACE course online is just opened up tomorrow. Like yesterday, we got our first 2 people. Welcome, Barry, for joining. Number 2. Yeah, so do join those courses if you like to, and just stay on our newsletter. Emma will put a link in. I mean, maybe you're already on our newsletter, but if you aren't, just stay there, and you know, the timing will find you as well. You know, it's if this year isn't the right time to come to Applewood, maybe next year will be, you know, so we'd love to see you whenever, online or in person. Yeah, so thank you. So I wonder, actually, maybe Delvin, Emma, do you want to close out, and then we could kind of just last words, and then we'll hand over to you, Leona, for the song to really close out. So Emma, do you want to say something, and then Delvin, and then I'll close and then hand over to Leona for the song.
It's been a wonderful opportunity to hear all the different stories today, and remember being in Applewood in the summer and over the winter. You think, oh, I'll never be back there again, and to really feel that energy coming. I'm really grateful to all of you coming today and listening. I'm really excited to be joining in with the courses, helping cooking, but also helping facilitating with the Mothers as Natural Leaders course. So yeah, really hope to see you all there, and thanks for coming today, and I'll pass you over to Delvin.
Brilliant. So excited about the fresh new year. Spring is flowering all around me here in my tiny village on the coast of British Columbia. And yeah, I'm just feeling really optimistic about the opportunities that are presenting them to us. And whatever you do this year, whether you come to these courses or take other courses or figure out whatever the most appropriate chapter is on your adventure, I offer you encouragement, keep going, and follow your passion, follow your heart, and see where it leads you. I totally trust you to make the best possible decisions for yourself in your life. And yeah, best blessings on that journey.
Lovely. Thank you. Over to you, Leona, for the song now. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being here. It's really appreciate. And Leona, we have a song.
So yeah, I was thinking about which song, and you know, this, what we do in our lives isn't a head decision, really. It's a heart decision. You know, what do we really feel? If there's a spark of inspiration in us, do we follow that or do we not? And singing together is just my absolute joy, bringing together that coherence that happens. And I love the idea that when we sing here today, I know that all around the world, other people are doing that at the same time. You are all doing that at the same time. It's creating a special kind of magic. So the song, the way we do this online is that everybody is muted, so don't worry, nobody can hear you. And I will sing a line, and then I'll do this, and when I do that, that's for you to sing a line. So this is me, this is you, and it goes like this. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. When I say yes to the beat in me, when I say yes to the beat in me, I can set my spirit free. I can set my spirit free. When I say yes to the beat in you, when I say yes to the beat in you, I can see the light shine through. I can see the light shine through. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. I can feel my heart beat. I can feel my heart beat, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song, beating to the rhythm of the freedom song. When I say yes to the beat in me, when I say yes to the beat in me, I can see the light shine through. I can see the light shine through. I'm so yeah, so lovely to sing with you all. Blessings on your
Yay,
journeys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Leona. Thank you all. See you all again
See you
online in
hopefully.
person.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks again.
Nice to see you all.
Bye. Leona,